Hello? It's almost like the in-house channel's not working. So nice to see all of your nice smiley faces. I don't think we've had a town hall this crowded since we opened the place. Thank you, yes. I wouldn't miss it. Thanks, Seth. I think we have to wait a minute, don't we? Yes. Anybody have a joke? Where's Chip? How many optometrists does it take to change a light bulb?
It's either one or two. Which is better?
It's either one or two. What's better? It's a way to start a meeting. Well, by a show of hands, who survived the spectrum transition? Oh, wow, everyone in the room. This is great news. All right, so welcome. We have a very full agenda. I'm going to ask that you keep your questions to the end. If we need to go over a couple minutes, we will. So let's get it started. So Erin's going to give us a master plan and a construction update.
Thank you, Rita. Good morning, everybody. All right, so we've been busy over in the Rowan House for the last month. We'll take you through some pictures, but in general, we have been working on framing walls and starting to hang drywall. So exciting stuff happening over there. We have nearly all of the wall framing complete. We're just finishing up in the south end of the building. We're working on the in-wall electrical and plumbing throughout the space, and the ductwork in the entire space as well. We have started hanging drywall. Actually, we've completed hanging drywall in the West Wing resident rooms. We have started hanging drywall in the South Wing resident rooms. And we are going to start hanging drywall in the core areas and hallways next week. And we've started taping and finishing the drywall in the West Wing resident rooms. So it's starting to come together. A few pictures. This is the servery area and future pantry. We finished the metal studs in this area over the last month. The core area, so this is walking into the building from the vestibule, and this will be the future lobby. Some of the resident rooms showing the insulation before we have hung the drywall. And we have drywall. So this is what all of the resident rooms in the West Wing and a good chunk of them in the South Wing look like right now. This is from where the bed will be looking out into the hallway. And then this is from kind of the entrance into the room looking at the TV wall. And we have a special guest this month. Mark Finnegan's going to provide an update on the Riverstone cabinet door replacement, which I know has been a topic of interest for some of you. So, Mark.
I was promised this was going to be a nice, easy discussion, nice topic, so here I am to give you an update. So the Riverstone cabinet doors, we are ordering the next round. We just had our self-perform laborers here on site going through and replacing these doors. We have ordered the next round. It was ordered last week. It's about a 4 to 6 week lead time on getting those doors here. So once those doors arrive, we will go through and we will replace those cabinet doors that have delaminated once again. So, any questions? Or no questions? Yes.
The last time they came and we needed 5 cabinets, they replaced 2, and now we need 4 because when they came, there
Sure.
was another one. Every time they come, there's another one. So when will this end?
It's a very good question. And so some of the challenges we've been faced with. Yes.
So the question was, Mark, that when they came, they were supposed to replace 5 doors. They replaced 2, but now they need 4. When will this end?
Yes, so good question. The challenge we've been faced with is we'll put in an order with the manufacturer. So the manufacturer has recognized that there was an issue with the original doors. The glue was bad. And so we have been working with them. We have been giving them a list of all the cabinet doors that are known that have delaminated. And sometimes we are shorted on some of the door sizes that we get. So when we get the doors, our guys go through, they shake them out, they find out, okay, these doors go here. Sometimes we don't have a complete order. That's a pretty common thing. There's a lot of different door sizes. For whatever reason, we've been shorted on a couple different sizes, and so we've been reordering them next time around, and we will add them to the list, keep them on there. A good example on this last install was the Lazy Susan cabinet doors. We didn't get any of those. We requested them, and we didn't get any. So we're making it known that we were shorted on these and that we need these so we can complete the install. But that's the challenges we're working through. Yes. And so the question is that one door has been replaced once and then it's delaminated since. That is something we're monitoring. We don't have a lot of good data. When this issue first started, there wasn't a good tracking. We just assumed, okay, there's a bad batch, let's get them ordered and replace them. Since then, we've added little indicators on the cabinet doors that have been replaced. We are tracking those, and that's information we're going to go back to the manufacturer with and say, hey, this issue we believe is worse than what originally we thought it was. We need more answers. But that is information that we're still trying to discover and find out the magnitude of it. Yep, no problem.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Aaron. All right, Angie McKeever is going to give us a plant update.
Good morning. So another topic in Riverstone is the water pressure. So we've done several things, and I wanted to update you and let you know what we have done because not everyone knows. We went into the Riverstone garage and flushed all the lines down there. We were advised that there may be debris from construction or just over time things settle in the lines. And we flushed those and little to nothing. I mean, a few pieces of calcium, but that's it. It was very minimal. So that didn't work. The backflows in the water house that comes from the city into the building, we took those off. Water pressure was improved, but again, very little notice in the apartments. So what we did next was in one of the absolute worst apartments, we took and replaced the faucet in the kitchen completely. Same brand, but different model, more gallons of water per minute, and it did substantially make a change, about 30% increased in water pressure. So that was huge. And then last evening and this morning, we changed a few shower heads in some of the other apartments that were having issues. And I spoke with one resident this morning, and she said that the pressure hasn't improved, but the amount of water coming out has improved. So be patient with us. We're getting there. We're trying process of elimination before we put in the booster that they cannot even guarantee that will work. So we are working on this. We won't stop. I know it's been an issue since you all have lived here. So we are really working on that. All right, next topic is windows. This is the schedule of this month. And what they've done is they have padded a day or two in for weather in case there's a lot of rain or it gets super cold. They've padded in days. So even though, they might not get to both apartments or get all windows, because of the allowed time that they've added in there, they're still going to stay on task. Now, obviously, things happen, but for the most part, so far, they have stayed on the schedule that they've given us. There have been a few windows that were damaged in shipping, and those have been ordered. There are parts for windows. There's one or two that the mechanical aspect broke, so that stuff has been ordered. So that, again, with everything else, is taking a little bit of time, but by the time everything is done, those replacement windows should be back in. And then they're following up with the trim. When they started, they found unexpectedly there were some gaps that they had to go in and add some trim to. So if you've had your windows replaced and there's gaps, don't worry, we're putting border in there, we're putting trim in there, so it won't look bad. It's going to look great. All right, does anybody have any questions on the windows? Oh, at the end, okay.
Thank you. All right, Emily. You can be ready in 30 minutes.
Good morning. All right. So, as you can see, we continue to be busy, which is great. You're going to have some new neighbors. You've had some new neighbors coming in. You have more coming in. So in March, we had the following move-ins. If you're in the room, please raise your hand. Jack and Nancy Scott. Dick Martin, I know is over there somewhere. There's Dick Martin, B252. Daniel and Mary Dabney Webster, they come today. And then Wayne and Marilyn Miller. They here? Okay. We're going to try to get encourage new residents to come to Town Hall, and we're going to start introducing them more formally in the future. And then upcoming in April, Shirley Powers in B153, Jill Drake in B313, John Christensen in the Villa 6788, Harry and Donna Lipset in A374, and Gordon and Angela Owens in A555. So filling up. So again, just a reminder, we're always looking for referrals. I'm going to say it every meeting just because they are great leads for us, for good people who are very interested because you are the ones talking to them about how great Friendship Village of Dublin is. So please continue to do that. So our winner of the March referral reward is Bob Bowers. Is he in the room? He's usually here. So congratulations to Bob. We'll be in touch with him. He can choose any of the rewards that you see there. So again, with every referral that comes in to us, we enter your name in for a drawing to win one of these rewards. And then, of course, as a reminder, if your referral moves in, you can get a referral reward of $3,500. So thank you always for continuing to give those to us. And we're still collecting names of organizations or groups that you're part of, that if you're willing to make that connection with us to present to them, we would really, really appreciate it. And then lastly, we have been given the green light to start with in-person resident referral luncheons. So May 5th will be our first one. You will get a flyer in your basket here probably by the end of the week or early next week. I am asking that you RSVP to me if you're coming. Your guest will be your ticket. So if you have a friend or two that you want to bring to have lunch with you and me and learn more about the community and see what it's all about, please call me and be happy to line that up and reserve a space for you at the next resident referral luncheon. Yeah, no questions, I guess, until the end, so thank you.
We're learning. Do I look like Angela Vogan? Because I'm going to be here for a minute. So Angela is actually at a career fair at Dublin Scioto right now, trying to recruit some new servers. Won't that be so fun? Hopefully she has good luck. So Kevin and Angie are going to come up. Who knows Kevin? Kevin is our Associate of the Month this month, so congratulations. Thank you so much for your hard work, and I think Angie's going to tell a couple things.
Well, I just wanted to boast a little bit about Kevin. During COVID, the first go-around of COVID, Kevin went above and beyond over in the health center. Not only was he tearing down and putting up walls, but he made sure that the residents had their newspapers and just really took on that extra thing, and he just went above and beyond. And very proud of Kevin. Glad he's here.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Kevin. Congratulations. Enjoy your parking spot. All right, here's Matt.
Good morning, everybody. First and foremost, I would like to truly apologize for the chaos that has been surrounding the culinary department. We've done a lot of things. We've been pretty active. We missed some things. We missed some things in all the dining rooms. So first and foremost, I apologize for the chaos that's been. We're working very, very hard right now to correct everything. We're going to go over some things, give you guys, make sure you have all the current information within the department today. I have a few more minutes than normal, so I just want to first and foremost apologize, and we are working very hard to get everything corrected. Today we're going to talk about the dining room hours. We've sent that grid up a few times. We're going to go through the options that are available. We're going to do a small, brief overview of the Village store and some of the things that we're going to be looking forward to.
I'm going to help.
Okay, so the dining room hours, we've sent this grid out a couple of times now. It is now on the dining at a glance menu. We just want to show that what hours, who's open, what hours for the whole week. So the two black spots are when those two areas are closed. So we have on Sundays, the bistro is closed, and then on Sunday and Monday, the Riverwalk is closed. But everything else is open, and you can see those hours throughout the day. The next thing is, with all the menu changes that we've been doing, this is a grid of what you can expect at each restaurant. Through the Legacy, the Riverwalk, the River's Edge, the Bistro, and Grab and Go. We couldn't go through all the menus. All the menus are available online. They're all current, but it kind of really says what we're doing. Because what we've been working very hard on is to signify or very distinctly what you're available to get at each restaurant. During COVID, we kind of blended everything. So now we're trying to make it very distinct. Let's go for an example. The Legacy, you'll see on the bottom, the menu rotation, we have a buffet daily. We have a Heart Healthy, that's a weekly item, and the Blue Plate is weekly. So those are posted, and we're going through those every single day. Where is Riverwalk? So the atmosphere in the Riverwalk is an elegant atmosphere, more refined food options, and requires a reservation to dine. So we hope that this kind of explains, you can have this as a central place to look at, so you can see what do you think you're going to get? Where do you want to go for that evening or that lunch or that breakfast? Anything else? Okay, so the Legacy provides a dining experience that allows for a series of choices from the buffet, 2 per day, and the food options are from the grill. That's a new, always available grill items that we have. We took away the light offering. We don't have that on the menu, but that's what the grill is now, is the light offerings. So you will make that distinction. So there's always available menu. Let me first and foremost say, substitutions are allowed everywhere. I know that was a big thing last week. There was a huge miscommunication, and that is corrected. There are substitutions in all restaurants. You can substitute any sides that you want. If anything changes on that, we will not do it. We are doing substitutions forever. River's Edge is a fast casual environment.
Hold on, let's stay. So the Riverwalk talk to us a little bit, Matt, about the thought behind the menu in the Riverwalk and not allowing an alternative menu or not having an alternative menu in the Riverwalk.
So the Riverwalk, really, we're trying to shoot that for our fine dining restaurant. That is a very refined menu. One of the things that I challenged the chefs at was to make something comparable to Lindy's American Bistro in German Villages, which is one of the places I worked. With this menu, we really, really strived to do that. So the original thought on that menu was that you have a protein. We as chefs said, okay, these are the best matched side items. So that's where some of that came from. If you're having the Dubliner Lawyer, that's a complete meal. and then you want a vegetable, and then we put a vegetable with that. We thought that was the best pairing. That's us. That's our opinion as chefs. Now, again, substitutions are fully allowed, but the thought process had been on that menu, what is the best thing with that product? And a very refined menu. River's Edge, a fast casual environment that has both a buffet offering and casual lighter offerings for sit-down meetings. This is the last menu that we're trying to finalize right now. It's going to be, we're thinking fresh, we're thinking healthy, we're thinking very spring-like with very light offerings, and just so you can, enjoy the spring. So if you're thinking spring, we want you to go to the River's Edge. Now, you can have sit-down dining at the River's Edge. I want to make sure that's clear. If you sit down, the servers will serve you. We will make your food fresh to order. Now, the grab and go.
Hold on one sec.
Sorry.
So the River's Edge, who remembers, a couple years ago, pre-COVID? Anybody? It's hard. So remember when we opened the River's Edge, we served like grilled cheeses and Reubens. And do you remember how hot it was in the kitchen? It was too hot. So there's no fan or no HVAC in that prep area behind the bar. And so we've altered the menu to allow that space to have food options, salads, wraps, sandwiches, some things like that.
Quinoa. We're doing a quinoa bowl.
Some quinoa, some heart-healthy, plant-based foods that we can make without having our servers and our cooks pass out because it's 110 degrees in that space. So we're altering that a little bit. But one of the things that I love that makes my heart so happy in the morning is now seeing Anna and Lulu come in. And this morning I got here at like 7:20. There was lights on. So we want you to come and sit in the cafe if you so choose. So that is now an option that is available for you.
And that is where our hot breakfast buffet is available for you during Monday through Friday. So that is what's open currently. Bistro. Bistro is a venue which offers a traditional pub attire, a good burger, Reuben, some yummy soup salad combos. So we really we have the pizza, we have the milkshakes, we have the root beer floats. That's where, and then soon we're working on right now to add beer and wine. Have a beer and wine menu for the bistro as well. So if someone wants to come down, have lunch, grab a beer, we're working on getting that all put in place down there. So it's very much like a pub type environment. And then finally, the grab and go in the River's Edge store. Again, we're keeping those similar to what we are having in the River's Edge. Good fresh salads, fresh sandwiches. We're working on some of the things we do know we missed on was the signage. If you purchase a grab and go sandwich, you get chips and you get a pickle, and those are available at the front desk. But we're going to work on putting them closer so you don't have to walk back and forth. So it is a truly grab and go item.
So Matt, I have a question. Where can I get a piece of salmon cooked to order?
Currently, you can get that at the Legacy Always Available menu.
Okay, and where can I get some fresh veggies like broccoli or asparagus?
Cold or hot?
Hot.
Gotta ask that. So currently, the Legacy has the vegetables available, both on the bar and the a la carte items. And the Riverwalk menu does have a vegetable plate that we're working on to improve.
Where can I get a mashed or a baked potato?
Great question. Baked potato is in the Legacy dining room.
Okay, so all of those are still available. I know the other night in the dining room I had a couple black eyes because they weren't there, but they are still here. They're just now in the Legacy. Okay, thanks, Matt.
Okay. All right, hopefully that cleared some things up. There's still a lot of other questions, I'm sure. So the last thing, culinary service updates. So the Riverwalk, we are going to, wait, this is the same thing. We kind of just went through all this. I'm going to skip to the next one. Village store guidelines. This has been an interesting topic where I have a friend coming up to help explain this better. So just the village store guidelines, we have gone to hold everybody accountable to the 2 bottles of wine per month, 4 fillets, and 4 salmon fillets. That's per person. So if you are in couples, you can have 8. We just ask in this instant that 4 get rung up for the the male, 4 get rung up for the female, not 8 for one person. So that's because how I look at that report is based on the person, not the unit. And Craig is going to come up, and he is helping me with this part today as well.
I'm just going to clarify that they can be rung up. One is the first person, and the other one is the second person.
So I think it's always good to have perspective. So for those of you that have been around long enough to remember when the store was in the Nifty Cafe, that was completely run by the residents. Friendship Village had no cost in that, did not staff it, etc. When we moved it up front, the decision was made and there were fewer residents willing to work in the store that Friendship Village would start staffing that. And as such, we took that on as a cost for both the staff and the store. Then this little thing called COVID hit, and that store morphed into much more than it was ever intended to be. And now that we've come out of COVID, the question, in the meantime, we got a liquor license and we started selling more things than I think we probably should have, but it worked out during COVID, so you didn't have to go to the store. And just from some perspective, we went from 0, we are now spending somewhere between $12,000 and $15,000 a month in that store. Okay, so do the math on that by 12. That's about $150,000 plus or minus that's now into our area that was never in our area before. And so we set our meal plan costs based on the food costs and the labor costs of our culinary department. And so understand when we're starting to use those food plan meal allowances to now pay for the liquor, which has very little markup, by the way, we're now eroding what that meal plan cost was intended to do, which was to cover our culinary department costs. So the trade-off is, I guess we could continue to do it, but all of your meal plan costs would do this, and there's really only, I think, 20% or so that are using that, and I don't know that it would be fair to the other 80%. Not that life is fair, but that's kind of the perspective from our end. So it's not that you can't buy more than that. You can. It's just as we started to go through this plan, you're just going to be charged in addition. You can only use the limits on your meal plan. If you want to buy 8 or 10 or 12, you can. It's just now Matt has the ability to go through our full count system, and you'll then be charged at the end of the month on your monthly statement if you reach above that limit. So any questions on that as to the perspective? What the limits are? Sure. So per month, you can buy 2 bottles of wine, and that's, I think as Matt mentioned, that's per person, so husband and wife would be 4. Just make sure you charge that to each spouse, so to speak. Fillets are 4 each as well, and the salmon is 4 each. And again, so for a couple, that would be 8, but again, just make sure you charge it appropriately as he looks at his month-end rolling statements. Pat, one question. Go ahead. The question is, hasn't it always been if you go over your allowance, it goes on your bill? The answer to that is yes in total, but if you weren't over your allowance, you're just over your limit. Let's say you individually bought 8 fillets instead of 4, but that didn't put you over your $482. Until recently, you were not charged for that. Now the 4 will go against your allowance, and the other 4, regardless of where you're at, will be charged to you.
Thank you both very much. Appreciate it. Oh, yeah, one more. Sorry.
Sorry, I had one more. Just wanted to talk a couple things that are coming in culinary. So what we're still working on things. So the long-awaited return of the upgraded Sunday brunch that is going to take place April 24th. We are going to be making omelets to order. We're going to rotate every other week. We're going to do prime rib one week, and then we're going to do a Belgian waffle bar the following week. So you'll see that will be the live action out front. The omelets will be made in the back. We have a really great plan to take care of omelets if we have a lot. It's actually, the chef suggested it. It was brilliant. It's something I never thought about. The Legacy menu refresh has already started. We are in week 2 of the new buffets. Hopefully you'll see, we have a 4-week cycle on those, so hopefully we'll see some of these new products, new combinations. We always are appreciative of feedback, both positive and constructive, of what you like and what you don't like. But you can expect home-style meals. You know, we have the turkey and the meatloaf. We actually brought the Kobe meatloaf from the Riverwalk up to the Legacy. 2 all-day buffet entrees, and the new grill offerings as well. River's Edge menu is our last menu of this whole process. We are shooting to have this, we're having this done April 26th. As we kind of mentioned earlier, we're going to have wraps, quinoa bowls, lighter, healthier food. And then we're also going to include a monthly heart healthy offering, the buffet, table service, and made-to-order menu. And then we are actually starting today to start talking about the Waterford Cafe. So hopefully more to come in future meetings. Thank you for your time, everybody.
Thanks, Matt. Betsy? So I will just say, as Matt leaves, we very much recognize that we have some work to do in the culinary department. So we appreciate your patience. I think Matt and I met yesterday. We have some rotation of managers that we need to get in the right seat, on the right bus at the right time. I think Saturday night in the Riverwalk was a great example that we were not firing on all cylinders. And so we appreciate your patience. We're going to work on it. I think I know I'm going to spend a lot of time with Matt over the next couple of months, and we'll see if we can get it where it needs to be.
Hi, everybody. How are we doing today? Nice to see you. I love my job. I get to come up here and talk about all these super fun things that we have going on. So if you've not met me before, I'm Betsy Gillespie. I'm the Charitable Giving Director. And can you believe it's been almost a full year since we launched our Friendship in Bloom therapeutic horticulture program? Really hard to believe. And almost a full year into the program, we finally have our beautiful, one-of-a-kind, never seen anything like it Garfield Garden sculpture out there in the courtyard. And so want to be sure everybody knows that you are all invited to join us to thank the family who helped support this space through their donation, to celebrate the program, the Master Gardener volunteers who coordinate with our activities team will be there so that we can thank them for all of their volunteer work. We will also at that event be talking about how independent living residents can get involved as volunteers for the upcoming year. So there will be a good number of volunteer opportunities for folks who are interested in being involved with our residents of Waterford Place and Alderwood Health and Rehab and supporting their gardening activities. So please think about joining us Friday, April 29th, a little casual outdoor happy hour, dedication, few comments, mix and mingle, say thank you to the Her family and to our Master Gardener volunteers. So join us. We are asking, just so that we can prepare for how many are coming, for refreshments that you RSVP on Touchtown, please, for that. So I hope you will be there. And then also, oh my gosh, I love my job. I get to come up here and talk about how our scholarship committee met last month in March. This committee that includes 3 residents, so the officers from your resident association. We had Gene Forbes on that committee and Larry Kennedy and Mitch Mitchell. We also had 2 board members, Kathy McGinnis and Bruce Wall, and I staffed it along with Angela Vogan, our HR director, and we had a great group of candidates. We interviewed for days. It was really remarkable who we got to meet and talk to, and we will be awarding 15 scholarships this year. So it is so exciting and such a blessing to be able to support the professional journey of these associates and the dependents of associates. And we're seeing both this year. We're seeing a great group of associates, but then it's also a really fun group of up-and-coming dependents, children and grandchildren of our associates. So mark your calendars. July 27th, right here, 2 p.m., we will have our ever-popular scholarship ceremony and reception. So hope you will all plan to be here with us then. So thank you.
Thanks, Betsy. I think we have a little technical difficulty here, so Danielle and Seth are going to come and maybe see if we can exchange this presentation for my computer.
Well, I think this would be the appropriate time to introduce our new IT director. Eric, if you want to pop up here and join me. All right, well, we're getting that resolved here. Jeff Fire's last day with us was a couple weeks ago, so we were fortunate enough to get Eric onboarded and spend a couple weeks with Tom prior to his departure for retirement, and I hear he's enjoying his retirement. But as we took a step back and evaluated this position, we felt, given the importance of information technology, not only in our daily lives, but in our organization, that this would become a director level position. So Eric is our IT director, and he brings with him 20 plus years of experience in the IT world. And this is week 2, flying solo, so to speak, without Tom. So I want to give him an opportunity to introduce himself and tell you where he's located on our campus.
Good morning. I've met a lot of you, and I look forward to meeting the rest of you. I will preface the whole thing by saying I'm an IT guy, so public speaking is not the highest on my list. So, oh, sorry. I will say preface the whole thing by saying I'm an IT guy, so public speaking is, like not super high on my list. But really good to meet you all. I'm really happy with the team, with Corey and Anthony. I think they're very skilled, and I've been very impressed with the work they've been doing. I look forward to seeing you all at our Tuesday and Thursday walk-in sessions, 10 to noon. My office is on the 4th floor in an office called the Lounge. So feel free to look me up or send me an email or give me a call.
All right, thank you, Eric. And I think we're going to give a quick update on Spectrum. I know that's been all things Spectrum here the last 3 or 4 weeks on our campus. But we did have a call with Spectrum yesterday at 5 o'clock to kind of give an update on where we're at with our missing in-house channel. So they found the part, we're being told. It's in a warehouse somewhere today that they hope to locate and get it installed. We are very hopeful this week. So stay tuned for that. I know we also put on the calendar for Friday at 11 some DVR Spectrum training in this room. So we really need that to happen, and Spectrum understands that's an important piece to get back live on our campus so we can not only have our in-house channel programming, but have that training on Friday. So stay tuned for that. They are also working on all the audits, so if you have, or if you're still seeing any type of installation charges hit your account, let your buddy know, let myself, Eric, Craig know. We are having calls 2-3 times a week with Spectrum to get an update on making sure they're catching all the charge codes and they're removing those from your guys' statements. So if you see any of those weird charges pop up, send them our way so we can make sure you're added to the list that they remove those, because you shouldn't be receiving those. And then we did get really the best number here, this 833-697-7328. That is the best number to call Spectrum if you're having a Wi-Fi issue, a television issue. That is their customer service line for their bulk accounts. So we want to get that published. And a couple more items. I think Craig wanted me to mention that if you have DirecTV, our mass cancellation date is the 26th of April. So having said that, if you're still signed up or you have extra services through DirecTV, make sure you go ahead and call and cancel those so they can get those off the books for you. And then we are scheduling an on-site pickup for all the equipment that we have with DirecTV. So really Flats, Riverstone. If you have any neighbors that still have DirecTV equipment, reach out to us and we will come pick that up, because we're inventorying all that on a nice spreadsheet, and we're working with DirecTV to get that out of here. So, anything else, Spectrum? Yes, the number for Spectrum, and we will make sure we blast this everywhere. It's 833-697-7328.
Hold on, we'll take questions at the end because we got a couple minutes, but we'll save those and we'll come back to them.
Yes, questions at the end. All right, thank you, Eric. Jessica's going to pop up here and give us an update on our emergency response.
Good morning. Well, as we know, about 2 years ago, there were some campus-wide protocols that were largely impacted by COVID. We had to make some quick pivots and create some separation for safety, infection control. And one process that was largely impacted on our campus was our emergency response protocol. So those of you that use and utilize your wireless pendants or in your apartments, you all have call lights. That activates our emergency response. So if you would have an urgent, emergency needing emergency response on the campus, you would activate by pushing that button. And that incites an entire process. So 2 years ago, we took a vital component away from that process, which was our professional nursing team. And that's because our professional nursing team was tending to isolation, quarantine, and largely COVID. We were navigating really some very uncertain times and waters we weren't good at yet. So, as Craig said, we moved away from COVID. I didn't know we were completely out of COVID, but I'm excited to say our positivity remains under 5% in Franklin County. We monitor and measure that very closely, so then we keep our finger on the pulse for infection control and prevention. Today, Seth and I wanted to share that we've recently come back to the table and we've evaluated where we are with emergency response and how we can reinstitute the professional nurse into this process. So, some really great things that came out of COVID was we had a new metric that we could trend and track and measure from month to month. And so Chris, that leads our security team, helped us with some averages. One, we are averaging 3 minutes or less from the time that you activate your emergency call light in your apartment or on your wireless pendant, your neck or your wrist pendant, until the time that we arrive on the scene. And we can really assess and just make some decisions around what next steps are. So, even the emergency call light that's accidentally pushed, every single one is monitored for that average response time. So 3 minutes. Our current system is that the security is the first responder. They're highly mobile. They're not assigned to one resident group or process on this campus. They are universal. They walk every square foot of our 26 and some change acres, okay? So they're arriving on the scene within 3 minutes. If they get there and you haven't called 911, but you need 911, they will assist immediately with that. On average, we're seeing that our EMS workers that come from the Sawmill location are arriving between 8 and 12 minutes. So it's really, really important, and we want to hone in on a critical piece of this process. If you are experiencing a true emergency, don't hesitate. You should be pushing your call light for the campus and calling 911 at the same time. So that's an in-tandem task, pushing your button and calling 911. If our security team arrives and 911 is needed, they're going to additionally activate the professional nurse to arrive on the scene as a second first responder and call 911 for you. We're really excited to get back to building out that emergency response team. We are thick with resources on this campus, and we're just excited that this COVID impact is dissipating a bit with the clearing of our COVID infection rates in the external community. These changes are effective today, so our security team, our professional nursing team, are all excited to get back to the task that was historically present on our campus. And so if there are any questions, we're going to save those to the end, but the professional nurse will come back. If there's a strong desire, if there's not a true emergency, but you're needing a professional nurse or you've got a desire to talk to a professional nurse, that can be requested at that time as well. It's a blend of professional nursing resources that we tap into for this presence on the emergency team. So Monday through Friday, between the hours of 8 a.m. and 4 p.m., you will see that first responder professional nurse will come from our home care services team that's located in the Brandywine area. Outside of those hours and on the weekends will be our Waterford Place nursing team. So all wonderful professional nurses, those will become part of our emergency response team effective today.
I just want to add that while 3 minutes is the average, we say, depending on where they are on the campus, it may be more than that. So we say really between 5 and 10 is a realistic response rate. If our security team is out driving, doing rounds by the villas and flats, and they need to go to Brandywine, it's going to take a little time to get there. So it's great that it's 3 minutes. Let's not set that as the expectation.
All right, I'm going to give a quick Touchdown update. So we have added the resident comment card to Touchdown. It's been about a month ago, so I think we've had over 240 submissions as of Monday. So it's being used, which is great, but we did want to clarify kind of what's the difference between a comment card and Ask FVD. So Ask FVD was one of the first modules we built out when we rolled out Touchdown, and a peek behind the curtain, Rita, myself, Craig, Danielle, we get every one of those questions that is pushed through Ask FVD. And that's really an appropriate channel to get specific on a question about our operations, or it could be a general, because we're going to get that to the right person to follow up with you. And we're asking for your name, we're asking for your apartment number, we're asking for your phone number so we can make sure that either ourselves or our staff can follow up and help you answer that question, because we know there's a lot of moving parts around here and a lot of changes happening daily. So if you have a general or specific question, shoot it to us through Ask FVD, and we'll get the right person to answer that question for you in a timely fashion. The comment cards, so it's really just sharing your opinion or a suggestion. It's just really that paper comment card put online via Touchdown, via Google form. We've also added some more drill down context to get specific on our operations, culinary being a good example, where we can rate our different venues, different service levels, food variety, food temperature, things of that nature. So that's really good information for us to always look to continuously improve. So there is a resident name section on that comment card, but that is totally optional. We understand that anonymous submissions are have always been part of our comment card participation on the paper piece of it. So we want to make that optional for the Touchdown online version as well. All right, I'm going to hand it back over to Jess, and we are going to welcome another new member to our team here.
All right. So for those of you that engage Waterford Place, our assisted living position on the campus, may have remembered that we've got a professional nurse leader in the role over in Waterford Place. So Andrea is our new care coordinator. She's coming with a lifetime of service in senior living, has worked with Alzheimer's, has worked with the senior population for 26 years. And forgive me, this is the second time in 2 days using a microphone other than the karaoke, so I'm trying to do this correctly. And I am so excited to be here and be a part of Friendship Village community as your new Waterford Nurse Care Coordinator. I do have 26 years of experience, 20 of those being with our senior population, working with dementia, Alzheimer's, some behavioral issues that come along with that. The assisted living community that I'm in now has been so warm and welcoming. Thank you, everybody, for, if I'm going in the wrong direction, pointing me back in the right direction, and always smiling at me. It's nice that I can smile again without my mask on this part, too, so that's good. I
am looking forward to meeting everybody and their families in AL to help with the care planning, to make sure that the assisted living days are made to be at the fullest and help keep everybody at that assisted living level for as long as possible. Encouraging the activities, encouraging wellness, and anything else that a family might ask for or need as well. So talking with the doctors, with the families, with the residents, our main goal. I'm sorry, I don't speak publicly often either.
So if you're looking for Andrea, she's located on the second floor of Waterford Place. That's where her apartment is. And we're just so excited to welcome her to the neighborhood.
Thank you, Andrea. All right, Jeannie's going to pop up here and give us an update on earphones for this room.
And no pressure, we're 3 minutes over schedule.
Oh, gosh. All right. Well, good morning. I'm Jeannie Joseph, the Director of Wellness and Community Life. And there's a lot of chatter in the wellness world about the term older adults and seniors. Who would like to be called an older adult? You don't care? Doesn't matter to you? Oh, okay. I thought everybody would raise their hand as an older adult. And the reason I say that is because I'd like to call these ear devices and not hearing devices. So, and that's just really all about me, because I'm right around the corner, I'm going to be using a hearing or an ear device, and I'm going to call hearing aids earbuds instead of hearing aids. So anyway, who out in the audience here has one of the ear devices on today? Are they helping? Great, great. Well, we just wanted to make sure that all of you knew that we had these available, and I think these are much nicer, sleeker, and a lot cuter than those Eversounds that we used to have in the old Muirfield room that were like big earphones. So I wanted to make sure that you knew these were available. We'll have them here for every presentation and event that we have here in the Muirfield room. I understand that some of you that use these like to use them without your hearing aids. Others have their hearing aids in. I know Lois mentioned to me for ladies that use them, if you have earrings on, you got to kind of maneuver that little earpiece here that goes around your ear to get your earring in. So anyway, just to let you know, they turn on here with this little dial. You may have to adjust the dial a little bit to make sure the hearing is where you need it to be. So just wanted to let you know they're available, so please feel free to ask. We'll offer them up during presentations and events as well. All right, thank you.
All right, Seth and I are going to take questions. Who's going to go first? Go ahead, Pat. We're all going to have to wear earbuds or have gray hair after the Spectrum transition, but as long as you're happy, that's all that matters.
How are they trained to evaluate my condition in order to call 911? And if I really need 911, I'm not going to be able to do that.
Well, so that's the point. The question is, how is security trained? If you're pulling your emergency pull button, you need to have an emergency person. Like, that's the thing. That is why it's there. So we're just initiating the process for you. So who has experienced, well, I'm not going to ask that question. So if you, come on, Rita, you're better than that. So if Seth pushes his call button or his pendant, he knows that there's something not right, right? So instead of being able to call 911 and be a little scared, security is going to come and help do that. While one of the security guards is with Seth, the other one is actually going to go and open the door at the right entrance and bring the EMTs or the fire people into the building. So that's why they're there. The nurse is available. If we pull the nurse off the floor, that means the nurse is not available for an Alderwood or a Waterford resident. We obviously will do that. We just don't want to do that on every every basis, because on average it takes sometimes 20 to 30 minutes to help the resident, and then there's paperwork. And the second you leave these doors, there's an email that goes to COPC, to a couple of us, so we can start the behind the scenes process to know where you are, to make sure we know what hospital you're at, to make sure COPC knows, so that you can get the best care when you get there. Yeah. So if you fall on the floor, that's why we encourage you to wear your pendant 365 days a year, all 24 hours a day. So, right. So push the pendant and we'll come and help you. All right. What's the latest on a booster? So we communicated this maybe 2 weeks ago. Because the positivity rate is very low right now, we're going to hold off on the boosters till maybe the fall, late summer, early fall, to try and get you some immunity through that tough period. You can go to your COP, or you can go to your primary care physician and ask for a booster. We're just not going to provide a clinic at this point. Yes, Barb. No. So if you accidentally push your button, those buttons are pretty good. You got to make sure you hold them and they vibrate. It's just a good test for us, right, Chris? We're going to come and respond to it regardless, because it may not be an accident. It may actually be something. Yes, Pat.
Are the security people trained in CPR?
Are the security people trained in CPR? By the end of this year, they all will be. Yes, Joe.
What's the plan in the health center for Spectrum TV?
They are currently over there right now. So they're doing the drilling and setting up the infrastructure for Spectrum. So here in the next couple of days, they will be switched over. But it'll be owner repped. So it's a little different setup than what we have for over here on our apartments, because we will be managing all the Alderwood units.
And no DVR, and it'll just be cable.
Yep. So it'll be like the HD box where you just flip it on and no DVR. Yep.
The goal is to have Spectrum completely done campus-wide, including there's 100 TVs that have still not been done, 50 in Alderwood and 50, there's 51 actually, common area TVs. So Hayden Run Room, this room, the cafe, the Players Club, the bistro, all of those spaces. So the goal is to have all of those done so we don't have to pay another month of other TV by the end of this month. Yes, Pearl.
I've been trying for 2 days to make a reservation at Riverwalk. The screen freezes.
Well, that's not very fun. She's been trying for 2 days to make a reservation at Riverwalk, and the screen freezes. Anybody else having that problem? We'll see if we can follow up with you and see if there's something that's a little wonky. Yes, Mitz. So is COVID-19 email still an option? It is still active. We are not as diligent because we do this Ask FVD. So Ask FVD kind of replaced COVID, because I think what we found in COVID is that you really liked a quick answer that you get with COVID. So the Ask FVD goes to the same distribution list that the COVID-19 email went to. The culinary thing, yeah, we'll put that in your town hall minutes. The options available, I just did that graph. Can you pull it back? Thank you, Joe. Appreciate that one too. Can you go back to that culinary graph for me? The question was, can you make available the graph for the alternatives and the always available menu to you? I did this just for this week. So next week may be different, but this week there's 50 entree choices, 3 salads, 2 soups, and 20 sides. That will change a little each week. Excuse me? Yes. Oh, very good point. So the buffet for the River's Edge is Monday through Friday only. Thank you. Very good point. See, this is why we have these meetings. Yes, Mr. White. Can you say that one more time? I didn't hear you. So are the guidelines for the River's Edge store based on a calendar month, or are they based on your meal cycle? And the answer is they're based on your meal cycle. So if you start on the 27th through the 26th, that's where that time period works. Great question. Any other questions before Barb, and then we can come to back to Barb. I know there were some questions when we talked about some more culinary. Did anyone else have any culinary questions? Yes, Joe. Okay, question. Say that one more time. So I think the question is, how do you use WorksHub, and how do you know what the status is in WorksHub? The status. Okay, how do you check the status?
If you go back to the email that you received when you submitted the work ticket, you can click on, there's a blue number, a ticket number, you click on that and it gives you the status. I just recently updated yours the other day, so you should have received an email with my update. Okay, we'll check that.
So the response is, if you use the original email, click on the ticket number and that will give you the status. Yes. The grill open on Sunday night? No. Great. We'll update that as well in your hours. We could consider opening it since nothing else is open. We'll take that under advisement, as my father used to say. Yes, Pat.
You said that the security, one would help you and one would open the door. Are there always 2 security people on?
Yes, there are always 2 security. Sometimes there's 3. Craig, Seth don't want to hear that, but sometimes there's 3, but there's always 2. Yes. Correct, Chris? There's always 2. When was that, Judy, that you had that experience? Week ago Sunday. We'll look into that, but there's always 2. We're very, very, very cognizant of that. So we always make sure that there's 2. And if not, Chris typically comes in for that. Yes. Audrey, yeah. Is there a plan to add, hold on, Rita, slow down. So is there a plan to add 2, to remove the 2 limits in Riverwalk? And the answer is yes. We removed that a couple of weeks ago. So there are unlimited amounts of people. We just ask that you make a reservation in advance. Yes. I think we're back. We have no restrictions on things, to my knowledge, anymore in the campus. So everything should be good to go. We just ask the kiddos, be respectful of the residents and no cannonballs while somebody's trying to swim laps. Yes, Joe.
What's the plan on getting pictures of wall decorations back up in the hallway?
They tried to do it yesterday. The question is, what's the plan to get wall decorations, blinds, FF&E back up in the corridors? The answer is we're going to do it all at the same time. So when the furniture comes, it doesn't make sense to put a picture up until you know where it goes. So we'll do it all at the same time. They did try and come yesterday and put up the blinds. We said no, thank you. Wait till it's done. We don't know. We were given that time frame. There's some items that are coming in May. Some are coming in August. So we're going to try our best to get everything in the right thing. And there will be pieces that are going to wait, but it doesn't make sense to do it until we have enough of it. Okay, last question. Anybody who hasn't asked a question yet? Okay, 2 questions. Barb and Pat. So the comment was that if the specialties are divided around it and you want to eat together, it really divides kind of that up. I think we can take that under advisement. I think my initial reaction to that is that we're trying to have some different options in different parts of the campus that you and your friends could go to together. But as I said, the culinary department is evolving. We appreciate your feedback. We appreciate the comments that are given. Nothing is set in stone. We've got to kind of get down a path. So we'll keep working on it. Barb? So the question was that's for for 2 weeks, essentially a week and a half, we had Spectrum people here to help with setup, and you could call the front desk and have that done. Now, can you go to that number? The Spectrum people have left the building like Elvis. They are on to do all of their other work. And so if you have any issues, this is the number, 833-697-7328. That's the number that you would call to get some support. All right. It was so lovely seeing you. Happy April. We'll see you next month.